नमस्कार, मी रोटेरियन ललित राऊत, प्रेसिडेंट रोटरी क्लब ऑफ पुणे वेस्ट एंड आपल्या सर्वांचे स्वागत करतो। आज आपण इथे सर्वजण एकत्र जमलेलो आहोत ते करियर ऑपॉर्च्युनिटी इन स्पेस सायन्स या कार्यक्रमासाठी। आज या विषयावर आपल्याला मार्गदर्शन करायला आलेले आहेत स्पेस इंजिनियर अँड एज्युकेटर लीना बोकील। आजचा हा 45 मिनिटाचा ऑनलाईन कार्यक्रम आयोजित करण्यामागे रोटरी वेस्ट एंडची हीच भूमिका आहे की महाराष्ट्रात विद्यार्थ्यांपर्यंत सर्वदूर हा विषय पोहोचावा, विद्यार्थ्यांनी तो अभ्यासावा आणि या क्षेत्रातल्या करिअरच्या संधी जाणून घ्याव्यात। सायन्स या विषयामधील अधिक रुची वाढावी या उद्देशाने परवा 20 ऑगस्ट रोजी पुण्यातील महर्षी कर्वे स्त्री शिक्षण संस्था कर्वेनगर येथील निवासी असलेल्या जवळपास 600 विद्यार्थ्यांनी स्पेस एक्झिबिशन अँड प्लॅनेटेरियम एक्सपिरियन्स या एक्झिबिशनचा लाभ घेतला। त्याचबरोबर तेथील अंदाजे 70 शिक्षकांनी देखील या प्लॅनेटेरियम शोचा लाभ घेतला। रोटरी क्लब ऑफ पुणे वेस्ट एंड या संस्थेचा हा कायम प्रयास राहिलेला आहे की विद्यार्थ्यांमध्ये ॲस्ट्रॉनॉमी आणि स्पेस सायन्स या वेगळ्या विषयांची ओळख आणि रुची अधिक वाढत जावी, जेणेकरून त्यांना क्षेत्रामध्ये करिअरच्या संधी उपलब्ध होतील। आणि विशेष आनंदाची गोष्ट म्हणजे आज राष्ट्रीय अंतराळ दिवस आहे। आपल्या सर्वांना ठाऊक आहे की चंद्रयान 3 चंद्रावर लँड होऊन आज त्याला 1 वर्ष झाले आहे। आपल्या देशाच्या शासनाने जाहीर केल्यानुसार 23 ऑगस्ट हा दिवस राष्ट्रीय अंतराळ दिवस म्हणून साजरा करायचा आहे। म्हणून त्यानिमित्ताने रोटरी क्लब ऑफ पुणे वेस्ट एंडने पुढाकार घेऊन या विषयाला पुढे घेऊन जाण्याचा ठरवलं आहे। आपण सर्वांनी आज आपल्याकडे आलेल्या लीना बोकील यांचं मार्गदर्शन ऐकावं आणि या वेगळ्या विषयामधील संधी जाणून घ्याव्यात। धन्यवाद, सर्वांना शुभेच्छा अँड ऑल द बेस्ट।
हॅलो यंग इंडिया, मी अनिरुद्ध बोकील, रोटरी क्लब ऑफ पुणे वेस्ट एंडचा सेक्रेटरी आज तुमच्याशी संवाद साधतोय। बऱ्याच वर्षांपूर्वी मी असंच खिडकीतनं कायम बाहेर बघत राहायचो जेव्हा मला माझ्या आयुष्याचा मार्ग सापडत नव्हता। कारण आमच्या पिढीमध्ये ना एकतर मुलं मुलींनी डॉक्टर तरी व्हायला हवेत किंवा इंजिनियर तरी, पण तुमच्या पिढीचं तसं नाहीये। तुमची पिढी खूप स्मार्ट आहे, खूप इंटेलिजंट आहे आणि कायम हा ज्ञानकोश आपल्या खिशात घेऊन त्याचा पूर्णपणे वापर करत असतात। अनेक डिजिटल प्लॅटफॉर्म्सवरनं नवीन संधी शोधत असतात। अशीच एक संधी तुमच्याकरता आम्ही आज घेऊन येतोय। एक अल्टरनेटिव्ह करिअर म्हणून त्याच्याकडे तुम्ही पाहावं आणि ते म्हणजे अंतराळ विज्ञान, ॲस्ट्रो सायन्स। आम्ही हा जो ऑनलाईन आज वेबिनार तुमच्यासाठी कंडक्ट करतो आहोत त्याच्यातनं तुम्हाला या ॲस्ट्रो सायन्समध्ये आपल्याला कसं करिअर करता येईल, कसं नावलौकिक मिळवता येईल ह्याचा मार्ग आम्ही तुम्हाला दाखवणार आहोत। आपल्या प्रोजेक्टच्या ज्या कन्व्हेनर आहेत लीना बोकील, त्या स्वतः एक नासा स्पेस एड्युकेटर आहेत। तुम्हाला जर खरंच त्याच्यात आवड असेल तर त्या तुम्हाला पूर्ण मार्गदर्शन करतील, अगदी नासाची स्कॉलरशिप मिळेपर्यंत। तुम्ही लोक सगळे स्मार्ट आहात, नेहमीच काहीतरी वेगळं आणि चांगलं करण्यासाठी तुमची धडपड असते आणि ती धडपड लक्षात घेऊनच आम्ही हा तुमच्यासाठी उपक्रम घेऊन आलेलो आहोत। त्याच्यामध्ये तुम्ही जरूर पार्टिसिपेट करा आणि हा तुमच्या आयुष्याचा कदाचित मार्ग सापडू शकेल। तुम्हाला माहीत नाही, पण भविष्यातले डॉक्टर विक्रम साराभाई आणि सुनीता विलियम्स तुमच्यातच कुठेतरी दडलेले असतील, तर तुम्ही जरूर ह्याच्यात पार्टिसिपेट करा। थँक्यू सो मच।
नमस्कार मंडळी, मी रोटेरियन योगेश येवले, युथ डायरेक्टर रोटरी क्लब ऑफ पुणे वेस्ट एंडमधला। आजच्या कार्यक्रमातील एक महत्त्वाची गोष्ट माझ्यावर सोपवलेली आहे, ती म्हणजे आपल्या ज्या प्रमुख वक्त्या आहेत लीना बोकील मॅडम यांची ओळख करून देणे। लीना बोकील मॅडम यांनी आपले सर्व शिक्षण हे स्कॉलरशिपवर केलेले आहे, की जी कौतुकास्पद गोष्ट आहे। त्यांनी BE इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स आणि कम्युनिकेशन मध्ये केलेले असून बेळगाव येथील KLS GIT या कॉलेजमधून केलेले आहे। त्यानंतर त्यांनी इंडस्ट्रीमध्ये विविध पदांवर काम केले। त्याच्यात इलेक्ट्रॉनिका मेकॅट्रॉनिक्स सिस्टीम लिमिटेड असेल किंवा IETE पुणे सेंटर इथे असेल, त्याच्यात त्यांनी एव्हियनिक्स आणि प्रिन्सिपल्स ऑफ फ्लाईट याच्यावर ट्रेनिंग देत होत्या। सगळ्यात महत्त्वाची गोष्ट म्हणजे त्यांनी नासामध्ये जाऊन स्पेस एज्युकेटर प्रोग्राम केला। त्यानंतर नासामधील विविध कार्यक्रमांसाठी जवळजवळ 7 वेळा त्या तिथे जाऊन आलेल्या आहेत। त्यांनी पोस्ट ग्रॅज्युएशन केलं आहे ते टेलिकॉम इंजिनिअरिंग एडिनबरो UK मधून। त्याच्यानंतर सर्टिफिकेट कोर्स केलेला आहे ॲस्ट्रोबायोलॉजी आणि सर्च फॉर एलियन लाईफ, तेही एडिनबरोमधून केलेलं आहे। त्यांनी एलियन्स आणि ET एक्झिस्टन्स त्याच्यावर शोधप्रबंध लिहिलेला आहे एडिनबरोसाठी। त्या लाईफ मेंबर आहेत IETE या संस्थेच्या। त्यानंतर त्यांना विविध प्रकारचे पुरस्कार मिळालेले आहेत। तशी नावे भरपूर आहेत, त्यातले थोडीशी मी सांगतो. त्यातल्या यंग वुमेन इन इंजिनिअरिंग अवॉर्डमध्ये आहे IETचेच टेक्नोमीडिया तर्फे. त्यानंतर रोटरी क्लब तर्फे त्यांना रायला याच्या अंडर रोटरी युथ लिडरशिप अवॉर्ड देण्यात आलेला आहे. त्यानंतर क्रांतीवीर ज्योती शिक्षण पुरस्कार हा त्यांना मिळालेला आहे. विविध वाहिन्या व दूरदर्शन यातील अनेक कार्यक्रमांमध्ये त्यांना ॲस्ट्रॉनॉमी, स्पेस अँड स्पेस टेक्नॉलॉजी या विषयासाठी एक तज्ज्ञ म्हणून बोलवण्यात येतं. त्यासाठी त्यांनी विविध कार्यक्रम केलेले आहेत. आपल्या ज्ञानाचा उपयोग सर्वसामान्य लोकांना होण्यासाठी त्या वेगवेगळ्या प्रकारचे कार्यक्रम आयोजित करतात, स्वतः या क्षेत्रातली माहिती देत असतात. अशा बहुश्रुत लीना बोकील मॅडम आपल्या कार्यक्रमाला वक्ता म्हणून लाभल्या आहेत. तर मी लीना बोकील मॅडम यांचे स्वागत करतो.
Hello everyone. Greetings on the occasion of National Space Day. 23rd August 2023. ISRO's Chandrayaan-3 mission created history because Vikram lander landed on the south pole of moon and created history. This record was created by India's scientists and engineers thanks to the leadership of Dr. S. Somnath sir, the chairman of ISRO. Today, on the occasion of National Space Day, we are celebrating space technology in all its forms, and therefore I wish to bring to you the topic career opportunities in space. Rotary's West End has decided to bring towards the youngsters this particular topic. So we'll start the slideshow. Dr. Vikram Sarabhai has been the founding father of ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization. He has inspired numerous scientists and engineers, especially an educator and a space technologist and space enthusiast like me. ISRO was founded by Dr. Vikram Sarabhai with his team of young scientists and engineers. But the credit goes not just to Dr. Sarabhai, but his friend, Dr. Homi Bhabha, who was constantly guiding him. The legendary scientist, scientific leader, and engineer, cosmologist, Dr. Vikram Sarabhai has been India's pioneering scientist and an incredibly great space leader. He was renowned scientist and cosmologist, and his mentor was none other than eminent physicist Sir C.V. Raman, who was back then teaching at the IISc Bangalore. So Dr. Sarabhai, who was pursuing his BA honours in Cambridge, came back to India during World War II and got inspired by Sir C.V. Raman, and he completed his PhD in cosmology and then stayed back in India, and thus founding and establishing Indian Space Research Organization. Today we are going to talk about career opportunities in space, but then I would like to show some of the slides that have always inspired me and that talk about history of ISRO and how from modest beginning today ISRO has come a long way and made records. In this picture is Dr. Homi Bhabha showing Dr. Sarabhai, his best friend, some area that was earmarked, that is Thumba in Kerala, as ISRO's equatorial launch station. Dr. Vikram Sarabhai knew very well that India is a developing country and science was not our bedrock. The outsiders, European countries, America, and the space powers like Russia also thought India is a country of bullock carts and space is not our cup of tea. But Dr. Sarabhai made it crystal clear, and he said these famous words: "There are some who question the relevance of space activities in a developing nation like ours. To us, there is no ambiguity of purpose. We do not have the fantasy of competing with the economically advanced nations in space exploration to Moon, Mars and beyond, and also the manned missions and human space flights. But we are convinced that if we are to play a very meaningful role nationally and in the community of spacefaring nations, then we must be second to none in the application of advanced technologies to the real problems of man and society. With this agenda and objective in mind, ISRO was founded, and this is a unique picture which shows the payload scientists and engineers carrying payloads on bicycle and also on bullock cart. So this is how, with a modest and humble beginning, ISRO was founded. In this picture, these technicians, scientists and engineers are themselves assembling and putting into place these rocket components. Like I said before, Dr. Vikram Sarabhai inspired a whole lot of scientists and engineers, especially in this picture we can see Dr. APJ Kalam sir, Dr. Madhavan Nair, Dr. Satish Dhawan sir himself, so on and so forth. India's first rocket was launched from Russia, and we imported some components from France, Russia, so on and so forth. And from French Guiana also some rockets were launched initially. Aryabhatta was our first satellite, and this marked the beginning of space era in India. Aryabhatta satellite, named after renowned ancient Indian astronomer and mathematician, was launched by India in April 1975 from Russian rocket launch, and this is how we mark the beginning of science and technology, space science in particular, in India. We have come a long way. ISRO started from the western side, that is Kerala, Arabian Sea side, and sounding rockets like Rohini and others were launched. So from Thumba to Shar or Sriharikota, that is the Bay of Bengal side. Today we have a huge space launch facility at the Sriharikota launching pad or launch station. This is ISRO's major launching station, and all the major satellites and missions are launched from here. Initially, ISRO developed some INSAT satellites, that is Indian National Satellite System, for television, radio and for communication system, etc. So in the INSAT series, a number of launches were carried out successfully. Many of the major scientists initially who worked with the guidance of Dr. Sarabhai owe all the success to him because they were inspired by Dr. Sarabhai. One of them is Honorable Dr. APJ Kalam sir, who initially in his career worked in ISRO, and later on he worked at DRDO and then went on to become India's president. So it is a unique luck and great fortune that we have had a president who has been a scientist. This is how legendary scientist Dr. Kalam sir initially worked in ISRO. He worked under many projects and inspired many scientists and engineers. The major success or the game changer for ISRO has been Chandrayaan-1. ISRO's Chandrayaan-1 mission was India's first lunar probe, and it was launched in October 2008, and in August 2009 the Moon Impact Probe made an impact on the lunar surface, and the impactor then created history because this particular lunar probe, its payload discovered H2O or water molecule and also hydroxyl or OH molecule on the lunar surface, thus creating history, and the discovery of water, the credit of which goes to ISRO and also to NASA jointly. So in this way, Chandrayaan has been the game changer when it comes to ISRO's missions. And after this, there has been no looking back. Many eminent scientists have been the chairman of ISRO. I have had the honor of meeting Dr. Radhakrishnan sir, former ISRO chairman. Under his leadership, many important missions were designed and developed and conceptualized. The next major game changer or mission was MOM or Mangalyaan, that is Mars Orbiter Mission, India's first interplanetary mission, and we created history in September 2014 because in the very first attempt we achieved success. All the other spacefaring nations and the space agencies achieved success of interplanetary mission in the second or third attempt, but India, that is ISRO, has always done major success or major missions have achieved success in the maiden or the first attempt itself. For ISRO, MOM was a great epic moment. During the tenure of the then chairman Dr. Kiran Kumar sir, a great amount of development was done and carried out at ISRO. I have had the honor of meeting such eminent scientists. Mission Mangal or Mangalyaan gave India great amount of confidence, and our scientists decided to go still ahead. During this period also 104 satellites were launched by ISRO in the first attempt, and they were not just Indian satellites, it was an Antrix mission, that is for profit making sake. Antrix is one wing of ISRO which undertakes launching of foreign satellites as well. So there were NASA's or American private satellites, UAE, European, Canadian, Singapore and other countries' satellites as well. So we achieved success in the first attempt by launching 104 satellites in one go, and thus creating one more historic moment and achieving a milestone. ISRO's PSLV and GSLV launch vehicles or rockets are the most reliable workforce. GSLV especially has given ISRO a great amount of success. Thanks to the scientists and engineers, and also a scientist like Dr. Vasantrao Gowarikar sir, whose team had developed not only rocket and its components but also our rocket fuel, because of which we are able to do, ISRO does successful missions in one go in the first attempt, and that too at low budget. After that, Chandrayaan-2 was launched, but Chandrayaan-2 orbiter was successful. However, we were not able to achieve success in the soft landing of Vikram lander. 4 years after Chandrayaan-2, Chairman ISRO Dr. S. Somnath sir, along with his eminent scientist team and iconic scientists and engineers, decided to come up with Chandrayaan-3. Chandrayaan-3 mission achieved success because on the south polar region of Moon, no other spacefaring nation or space agency had been successfully able to do their soft landing. However, ISRO's Chandrayaan-3 mission achieved success, and therefore on the south pole of Moon, Vikram lander landed softly, and we achieved iconic success, thereby creating history, thus making ISRO the first space agency to achieve this iconic feat. Chandrayaan-3 mission by far has been the most successful mission ever carried out by ISRO. At the south pole of Moon, Vikram lander landed and created history. On the south pole of Moon, that is on the lunar surface, Moon is Earth's only natural satellite, and the average distance between Earth and Moon is 384,000 kilometers. Most of the spacefaring nations and the space agencies have sent unmanned missions to Moon. NASA sent Apollo mission, that is human beings or astronauts to Moon. However, all this was carried out on the equatorial area mostly, and they were not able to discover water. And the soft landing of Vikram lander on the south pole of Moon was the iconic feat. Why? Because only ISRO achieved this on the south pole, which is a very challenging area, and there are craters and mountains on this part of the Moon, and there are permanently shadowed areas, that is where we are likely to find water. And ISRO's payloads, that is Vikram lander, and then after that Pragyan rover rolled out. So after the successful landing, soft landing of Vikram, within few minutes Pragyan rover softly rolled on to the success. After Vikram lander landed on the south pole of Moon, the Pragyan rover rolled out softly, and soon after that Pragyan rover's payloads carried out its experiments for 15 days. That is, the 14 days cycle is 1 day on Moon, and therefore because the solar panels receive sunlight, and therefore power supply or the power for the devices, therefore the experiments or the payloads started doing their work. Vikram lander has payloads and also Pragyan rover, and these devices carried out their unmanned mission or experiments successfully. The aim was to find H2O molecule or water, to study Moon mineralogy, to study moonquakes. Just like earthquakes happen on Earth, moonquakes, do they affect, and do we come across such moonquakes on Moon? To study that, one of the payloads was involved in this particular area. Then He3 or helium isotope, that discovery also is a major aspect of Chandrayaan-3 mission. That is because on the lunar surface, if we are able to discover helium-3, then in the future missions we will be able to produce some more nuclear fission and fuels to supply the rocket fuel and the thrusters, power, etc., to provide fuel for our spacecraft on the lunar surface in the forthcoming missions. Not only ISRO's but also NASA's Artemis mission will take advantage of some of the results of Chandrayaan-3 mission. Therefore, in conducting Chandrayaan-3 mission, it was not just ISRO's contribution, even NASA's satellites were doing the tracking for us. This is how particularly the space field or space sector works. We collaborate and help and assist each other. In this way, the study of lunar soil or regolith, the stones or rocks, to study craters and mountains, to achieve success in the scientific experiments. This is the major mission contribution of ISRO, and it was not just meant for as a scientific or technological demonstration to show the entire world that we have the capability. Yes, it was for that particularly. And secondly, the major stream, that is science or science and technology, to study Moon, which is our natural satellite, And as we know, after our solar system was formed and Earth was created some 4.6 billion years ago, it is said that Moon was a part of Earth and it was sucked out and then created as natural satellite, and it started revolving around Earth. On Moon, do we find the same elements and minerals that we find on Earth? No, there is a huge difference. On Earth, there is 70% water, but on Moon, we find only few droplets and water in a very small, tiny composition. We do not find the same elements here or the atmosphere that Earth has around itself. The same atmosphere does not exist on Moon. So to study Moon, its environment and its minerals, soil, that is what Chandrayaan-3 mission was meant to do. And to a large extent, we have achieved success. Chandrayaan-2 orbiter was utilized for Chandrayaan-3's success and to study the lunar surface, to study even a few layers below Moon's surface. Some of the payloads did their stuff and carried out experiments. One particular achievement of the Chandrayaan-2 orbiter, which is the same for Chandrayaan-3, what it achieved was the human footsteps on Moon, that is Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin's and the other Apollo missions footsteps. It could see that, or it could take pictures, and also the landers, Apollo Eagle lander, which is still existing there. Some of the pictures were taken. So in this way, Chandrayaan-3 was not only ISRO's success or India's success, but it gave a widespread perspective to the entire world. The entire world was watching India achieve success and create a milestone. We created history by doing this South Pole soft landing on Moon. Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO's Chandrayaan-3 success marks a very important milestone not only for ISRO or India but to other nations as well. Some people call this Shiv Shakti point, the exact location where Vikram lander landed softly on the lunar surface. This position was chosen because actually surrounding it there are huge mountains, then there are craters, there are ups and downs, the surface is not smooth or soft, but still thanks to AI, machine learning, computers, programming, man-machine combination, scientists from all streams working 24/7 at ISRO, they were instrumental in achieving this success. Soon after ISRO's Chandrayaan-3 success, ISRO sent the first solar probe, that is Aditya L1, Aditya means sun, to study sun, chromosphere and corona of the sun or the outermost layer. To study the outermost surface of sun, photosphere, chromosphere, corona of the sun, Aditya L1 reached the Lagrange 1 point, and from there onwards we can see the sun or observe or do observations through the telescopes and the specially made SUIT, solar UV imaging telescope, through which we can study sun, its plasma. Nowadays we hear a lot of coronal mass ejection, solar flares, solar winds, and to study the sun weather and particularly the space weather, we have to study sun deeply, and this is possible by putting a solar probe close to the sun, that is on Lagrange 1 point, from where there will be no obstacles to study and look at sun. therefore, by doing so, we can gather all the information, and it will tell us how safe it is to send our astronauts, because on the space station, when astronauts are working inside the space station, there is huge amount of solar flares, hostile environment, and therefore we need to ensure that our astronauts, our Indian cosmonauts or Gagannauts who will be sent through the Gaganyaan mission in the forthcoming years, they will be ensured safety by doing this kind of study. In the forthcoming years, Venus mission, that is Shukrayaan mission, will be sent by ISRO to study our very closest neighbor, the closest neighboring planet, that is Venus. To study Venus, its poisonous environment, and to study deeply at close quarters, Shukrayaan payload or the spacecraft will be sent near the Venus planet. By far the most awaited mission by ISRO is going to be Gaganyaan. Gaganyaan will be unmanned mission wherein we will send a robot inside the capsule and it will go to the low Earth orbit. It will do its job and we will ensure that the spacecraft will come back safely and the recovery will be done as foolproof, because we need to ensure that this mission is going to be totally risk-free, because Gaganyaan 2 mission will be human space flight. That is, our very own Indian Gagannauts or Vyomnauts will be sent to the low Earth orbit, or this is going to be our own very own Indian space station. We may call the cosmonauts or astronauts Gagannauts or Vyomnauts, and 4 of India's best pilots from the Indian Air Force have been handpicked, and they are selected. They have been imparted with huge amount of training and endurance test. They are particularly the important aspects of human space flight, cosmonaut training, which was imparted to them in Russia. But apart from that, this is India's very own indigenous space station or Gaganyaan mission. 3 out of these 4 astronauts or Gagannauts will go to the space in the space station and carry out their experiments successfully at the low Earth orbit, that is 400 kilometers from Earth. This is what the Gaganyaan team looks like, and 3 of these 4 astronauts or Gagannauts will be sent into space. They will be India's very own astronauts. The training initial part was imparted in Moscow or Russia, but some of it and the major part of the mission is going to be in India. ISRO, Indian Air Force, HAL and other players are part of this particular mission. However, India's first cosmonaut has been none other than Wing Commander Rakesh Sharma ji, a test pilot from the Indian Air Force. He was handpicked by Salyut mission and he went along with the other cosmonauts in the Indo-Russian mission, and from there he said India is the best, because he was asked by the then Prime Minister of India, Srimati Indira Gandhi, how India looks from space, and he said without any hesitation that India is the best, that is Sare Jahan se Achha Hindustan Hamara. Cosmonaut Rakesh Sharma ji is India's first human space cosmonaut or spaceman, and he created history by going to the space with the Russian cosmonauts in the Salyut mission, that is Indo-Russian mission. Cosmonaut Rakesh Sharma ji has been a great inspiration for not only me but many of the young Indians who aspire to become the future cosmonauts, pilots or astronauts. Coming to the main topic, after talking about ISRO, I'll dive into one of the applications or one of the branches of science, that is astronomy. Astronomy deals with study of stars, celestial bodies, sitting here on earth, observing the sky, the stars. It is physics, mathematics, and it involves observation, that is observing through telescope. Telescopes are of many types. Hubble Space Telescope is NASA's major telescope that has shown us the pictures of galaxies and many far off objects, celestial bodies. And however, now after its tenure is over, it is been replaced by James Webb Space Telescope, JWST. JWST is the most powerful observatory or huge telescope that has been put up in space, and it is mounted and placed in space to take the pictures of space or the cosmos, cosmic bodies and celestial bodies. This is one of the pictures taken by astronauts from the space station or space shuttle, and astrophotography is one of the hobbies, or also it is becoming a major profession for many youngsters today. It deals with taking pictures of stars, celestial bodies by sitting here on earth, or also going to the space station and taking pictures of space, the horizon, moon, celestial bodies, so on and so forth. Today also there are space enthusiasts who have drones. Through their drones and the cameras mounted on drones, they send them up into sky and take pictures. So drones and drone photography, astrophotography is the most sought after branch of photography these days. There are many youngsters today who like to do stargazing. You can go to cities or places away from the cities, to smaller towns or to countryside, and go away from the city light pollution so that you get to see the best sky, to do meteor shower observation, eclipse, or to study some of the nebula or constellation, to study celestial bodies. Through telescope we can do wonderful observation, and this profession, that is amateur astronomy, is one of the major branches that youngsters and space enthusiasts, astronomers like to pursue. In astronaut training, a lot of activities are involved. I will now come to the field of space science technology per se, which deals with unmanned missions or manned missions. Space engineering and technology, at this point I would like to mention that it is multidisciplinary. Space engineering is not just space engineering, one discipline as such. It involves mechanical engineering, thermodynamics, aerodynamics. There could be payloads that involve instrumentation, electronics, telecommunication or satellites, so on and so forth. So at this juncture, I would like to bring home this point that space engineering is multidisciplinary, it is interdisciplinary, and there are very few institutions that offer space engineering. However, one can do BE in any particular field, mechanical, electrical, electronics and telecommunication, CS, IT, so on and so forth, and still go into space technology. How? By doing ME or MTech and then going for PhD. In India, there is IIST, Indian Institute for Space Technology, that is at par with IIT, and after taking up science and going to 11th and 12th science PCM, focusing on PCM and giving exam, a competitive exam like JEE, mains and advanced, one can go to IIST for BTech course. They offer courses in space and its allied branches, that is avionics, electronics, payload electronics, atmospheric science, so on and so forth. The IIST offers BTech program in the fields of space and its allied branches, avionics, atmospheric science, so on and so forth. After completing BTech, one can go for MTech or also do internship at IIST or at ISRO, and then go for MTech or also PhD. After completing BTech at IIST, that is ISRO's IIST, which is situated in Thiruvananthapuram near the Vikram Sarabhai Space Center premises. So IIST offers BTech, and during the third year or final year, while doing mini project or major project, one can take up space related project and then do apprenticeship or internship at ISRO, and then also participate in many of the missions, ongoing missions wherein university or students are involved. That is, if student satellites are going to be incorporated in any ISRO's particular mission, then the students can participate in these missions. So that is the advantage of going to IIST. After completing BTech or MTech, one can join ISRO, one can apply and join ISRO, or also go for higher studies and then also go for PhD, so on and so forth. Like I said, space is multidisciplinary. There are many branches involved. Any space mission that lifts off the rocket involves rocketry, that is, the rocket itself is built, and therefore mechanical engineers, material engineers, structural engineers are involved. The fuels, they comprise of materials, unique chemistry, engineering chemistry is also involved in that. And then when the rocket lifts off, later on the payload, that is a satellite, it could be a telecommunication satellite, so there is electronics and telecommunication involved. Then there are instrumentation to measure something, then that is payload instrumentation. Then there is payload electronics, and to study the orbital mechanics, there is lot of applied mechanics, there is extreme physics, there is mathematics, and of course the man-machine combination plays a very important role. So algorithms and software programming, all this is involved as well. Today we utilize AI and machine learning as well. So all these branches are brought together and integrated, and then we have what we see as a mission. So there are there is workforce, manpower, and there are machines or man-machine combination behind a successful mission. My journey from completing BE Electronics Telecommunication, and after doing TIFAC research on sensors, transducers and actuators, little did I know that time that these sensors will be used or utilized in the Chandrayaan 2-3 missions later on. So mine was a temporary assignment, and TIFAC was actually conceptualized by none other than Dr. APJ Kalam sir. Therefore, I had the honor of working with Department of Science and Technology, and my very first job was being involved in the study of techno-market survey of sensors, transducers, actuators, so on and so forth. So at that time I had visited ISRO, IISc Bangalore, Raman Research Institute, and many of the R&D institutions of India. So from electronics and telecommunication to aeronautical engineering, and then I taught avionics and principles of flight, and after that I was invited by NASA to attend the NASA Honeywell Space Educators program. During this training, they also made us get involved in particular space missions, simulations, and the experience that astronauts go through. So we can say this is a precursor to astronaut training. So my experience has been going through such simulations like space shot, that is, we go vertically up like a rocket, and then at some point when we experience free fall, then plus and minus g, they cancel and we get to experience zero gravity. Microgravity, that is 1/6 gravity, that of Earth, that is what we see or experience on Moon. This kind of training also I was fortunate to experience, this iconic part of the training at NASA. In the US Space and Rocket Center, this particular training program at Huntsville, Alabama, I was honored and singularly lucky to go through this kind of simulator experience. So like I said, this is a precursor to astronaut training, but this is very, very minute as compared to what actually the astronauts experience in space. But this, however, this kind of experience also gives a huge amount of experience that is life-changing, and I can say now that I can be a part of ambassadors program, that is Space Ambassadors program, wherein my name is there in one particular mission in the future. We all know that Neil Armstrong was the first man to land or put his footstep on Moon, and NASA's astronaut Buzz Aldrin was the second man to go to Moon. I was honored to meet Buzz Aldrin and have lunch with Buzz at International Space Conference in Orlando, Florida. Being a part of space, engineering and technology, it's great honor to meet personalities like Padma Shri Dr. Pramod Kale sir. He was handpicked by Dr. Vikram Sarabhai, and he has been among the first few scientists and engineers of ISRO who have had the honor to work with Dr. Sarabhai himself. So I have great mentors and gurus in this field of space science and technology. However, my guru and my mentor in this particular field has been Dr. Shankar Rao Gowarikar sir, whose guidance and mentoring helped me to stay put, and when there was no much scope in space science technology and I was contemplating on doing something else. However, Gowarikar sir would always tell me, you have the tenacity and the patience and the perseverance, the determination, grit to stay in this field. So you are made for this, you stay in this particular field, hold the fort and keep going, keep pushing higher. And that is what I have always done, because this field is very, very challenging. Coming from a small town like Belgaum, and I came to Pune, and when there was no much scope in this particular area, I have had great honor, and it has been my fortune to have come across Dr. Gowarikar sir, who always showed confidence in me, and he gave me lot of moral support, because this particular field is where we can see a lot of people coming in this technology in this particular area today. But back then, a dozen years ago, when I was just starting to make a foothold in this particular discipline, I had lot of patience, because of which I was able to stay here, and it took a long time. I took the staircase and not the escalator or elevator. Thanks to Dr. Gowarikar sir, eminent nuclear physicist who has worked with Dr. Homi Bhabha in the Indian nuclear program at BARC, and I am proud to continue the legacy of such eminent scientists. they are great inspiration to me, not only to me but to my students and to all the youngsters, because this energy and this legacy is passing on. So, like I said, space engineering and technology is multidisciplinary. One can do BSc Physics, BSc Astronomy, Cosmology, Astrophysics, so on and so forth, BSc, MSc, PhD. However, space science and technology, that is space engineering, is technology. Therefore, one must go for engineering course, that is BE or BTech. One can do BTech and pursue engineering degree, BTech degree from IIST, Thiruvananthapuram, and go for MTech, PhD, so on and so forth. However, one can also do BE in any field like mechanical engineering, electrical, instrumentation, computers, ENTC, so on and so forth. And then one can do ME, MTech or space related programs or applications. And today, according to me, this is the age where we need a lot of space engineers and scientists. We need a lot of space entrepreneurs. As Honorable PM Modi ji says, स्पेस के लिए अच्छे दिन आए हैं और अच्छे दिन आने वाले हैं, and according to me, there should not be any space between space and common man. And it is my request to the engineering colleges and institutions that we must bring this branch into existence, space science and technology, so that we will be able to meet the demands. Because I said in my past slides, I showed that India or ISRO is going to do a huge amount of space exploration and many missions to come in the near future. In fact, from now onwards till 2047, a roadmap and a timeline has been evolved and developed by ISRO scientists and engineers and the Department of Space, so that we are going to do continuous space missions. And for that, we are going to need youngsters who should work for the nation and maybe as suppliers or to provide services, because ISRO is doing all these missions like Chandrayaan 3, Chandrayaan 4 and 5 in the future, Mangalyaan 2 and 3, Gaganyaan 1, 2, so on and so forth, Shukrayaan mission and many more missions. Therefore, there is going to be a huge demand. There are immense opportunities in space technology. There are infinite opportunities and also challenges. Therefore, because of the Make in India movement, now we can see many youngsters coming up with space startups, particularly defense and space, that is DEF space. They are calling and inviting many youngsters to come up with their startups, because Indian defense and also space technologies, they need youngsters, they need our Indian brain power, they need our efforts, and we are going to do all these indigenous Sampurna Swadeshi components. Chandrayaan 3, for example, has been end-to-end conceptualized right from initial to the last step. Everything has been made in India. ISRO's various centers have made the rockets, the components, the payload, Vikram lander, the Pragyan rover, and the entire combination of all these electronics, telecommunication, instrumentation, and the entire mission as such has been integrated. Everything has been made in India. Therefore, the success of Chandrayaan 3 is very important, is the most important milestone for ISRO, for India. And in the years to come, if we are going to be superpowers, our Indian defense and Indian space technologies need to boost and beef up. And therefore, we are doing this drive to invite many youngsters. Rotary Club West End is also going to start very soon career opportunities in space and also space science course, short-term courses for the school students, because it is at this age that we will be able to mentor and inspire the youngsters, and then in the future they will come to this field. Rotary Club West End ची ही एक प्रयास आणि हा एक प्रोग्राम असणार आहे. येणाऱ्या काळात आम्ही शाळांमध्ये स्पेस स्टडीज किंवा स्पेस सायन्सचा कोर्स डेव्हलप करून तो अनेक शाळांमध्ये रन करणार आहोत किंवा इन द फॉर्म ऑफ वेबिनार. तर लहान मुलांनी, शाळेतल्या मुलांनी जरूर इंटरेस्ट घ्यावा. शाळेतल्या टीचर्सने पण आणि पालकांनी पण खूप मुलांना या फील्डमध्ये आणण्यासाठी एनकरेज करावं असं मला वाटतं. आणि तरच मग येणाऱ्या काळात आपल्या देशामध्ये या मुलांना, आता युवा पिढीला खूप संधी मिळणार आहेत. आणि मला पर्सनली असं वाटतं की इतर देशांमध्ये उच्च शिक्षणासाठी न जाता किंवा ब्रेन ड्रेन होतो ते प्रिव्हेंट करून आपण भारतातच सगळ्या अपॉर्च्युनिटीज आणि संधी जर आपण इथेच निर्माण केल्या तर एक चांगला इकोसिस्टम, एंटरप्रेन्योर्स आणि इनोव्हेशन R&Dसाठी प्रोत्साहन देऊन ATL सारख्या लॅब्स, स्पेसच्या लॅबॉरेटरीज, शाळांमध्येच प्रयोगशाळा केले तर मुलांना विज्ञानाची आवड येईल. आणि विज्ञान करताना, शिकत असताना फक्त पुस्तकी ज्ञान असून उपयोग नाही. त्यांना हाताने त्यांच्या प्रयोग करता आले पाहिजेत आणि प्रॅक्टिकल ओरिएंटेड DIY किंवा डू इट युअरसेल्फच्या किट्स आणि या गोष्टींकडे आपण वळायला हवं आता. कारण आता शालेय शिक्षण खूप वेगळं आहे. आमच्या काळात खूप गोष्टी वेगळ्या होत्या. प्रयोग आम्ही बघताना म्हणजे शिकत होतो किंवा शिकत असताना बघत होतो, डेमॉन्स्ट्रेशन पाहत होतो. पण आता येणाऱ्या काळात जर लहान मुलांना आणि विद्यार्थ्यांना आपण ते हसत खेळत जर हे आपल्या हाताने बनवायला लागले तर लवकरच त्यांना या क्षेत्रात आवड निर्माण होईल आणि मग हे कंटिन्यू करत राहतील. सो आम्हाला वाटतं की स्पेस सायन्स हा प्रोग्राम, शॉर्ट टर्म कोर्सेस शाळांमध्ये आपण रन करायला हवेत. आणि तसं जर केलं तर लहान मुलांना, आणि त्यातल्या त्यात फक्त शहरात राहणाऱ्या नाहीत तर स्मॉल टाउन्स, विलेजेस, खेडेगावात पण राहणाऱ्या अगदी गुणी मुलांना आणि मेरिटोरियस स्टुडंट्ससाठी पण हे त्यांना ही संधी मिळायला हवी. आणि म्हणूनच आम्ही हा क्षेत्र पॉप्युलराइज करतोय. स्पेस सायन्स अँड टेक्नॉलॉजी इज मल्टीडिसिप्लिनरी. इट इज व्हेरी पॉप्युलर. इट इज द मोस्ट sought after branch. But many people do not know how to go in this field. Therefore, we have just shown a path. And for more information, you can contact us and we will give you more knowledge about this. And let us come together and run such programs, that is space science programs, just like what Rotary West End is doing. Thank you very much. Congratulations once again to ISRO, to Indian Space Research Organization, to all scientists, engineers, women scientists particularly, who have been instrumental in the success of ISRO. And happy National Space Day to everyone. Thank you very much.
थँक यू सो मच लीना मॅडम. आज आपण कार्यक्रमाला आल्यात आणि या विषयावर डिटेलमध्ये विद्यार्थ्यांना माहिती दिली. या विषयामध्ये विद्यार्थी कसं करिअर करू शकता याचं मार्गदर्शन दिलं. त्यामुळे तुमचे मनापासून आभार. विद्यार्थ्यांनो, नक्कीच या क्षेत्राकडे तुम्ही पॉझिटिव्ह वृत्तीने बघावे अशी तुमच्याकडे अपील आहे. आणि तुम्हाला या सब्जेक्टवर काहीही माहिती हवी असेल तर स्क्रीनवर दिलेल्या ईमेल ID वर तुम्ही नक्कीच आम्हाला कॉन्टॅक्ट करू शकता. थँक्यू सो मच अँड बेस्ट ऑफ लक.